It's live, I'll let you know. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We are live. Ahmadiyya Fact Check blog. Welcome back. Today we have Uncle Jamaluddin from the UK here, and we're just going to jump right into it. We try to save time and quickly talk about what we need to talk about. So, Uncle Jamaluddin, how's it going?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu nasalli ala rasulihil kareem. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Sadaqallahu al-aliyyul azim. Yes, my name is Jamaluddin, and I am a son of a missionary named Muhammad Maulvi Muhammad Din. He was a missionary in Albania, 1934, and I'm the only son of him, And I have relation in Qadiani families. My whole family is Qadiani. My grandfather became a Qadiani, and my father was born Qadiani, and I born Qadiani, and I live in the UK, and I go to I have go to speaker Hyde Park speaker corner and talk to these people, and my job is to expose them that they are the face of this Qadiani. This is what I'm trying to do. Mashallah, mashallah. Yeah.
Sounds good, Uncle. How long have you been in the UK?
I'm here last 48 years. I came to 1974.
1970. Did you come before Ahmadis were declared non-Muslim or after?
I came before.
Before.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. No, I came after. Because it was started in May, and I think it was declared in I don't remember the month, but it's in the same year. I know.
Yeah, they were declared non-Muslim in September 1974.
Yeah. I came here in October.
Okay, so it was right after.
Oh no, November. I came in October, November. Yeah, sometime. Yeah.
So was it related to? What was the reason you went to the UK? Was that related to the declaration?
No. I'm not asylum seeker. No. Yeah.
Okay. So and when you came in 1974 in the UK, there was only one Ahmadi temple, right? Is that true?
At that time, yes. The only one, in Putney. That's it. May be somewhere else. I haven't got a clue about it, but we used to go there.
I thought it was in London, the Fazl Mosque in London.
Yeah. The Masjid Darar, Fazl Masjid Darar is in London, Putney.
Got it. So, and the Jamaat was very small at that time. I think maybe Dr. Abdul Salam was running around. Did you ever bump into him?
Yeah. I met Dr. Abdul Salam. I met Chaudhry Zafrullah Khan, and I met their Imam, his name was, I forgot his name. Well, when I was speaking, the name disappeared from my mind, Yeah, Rashid was this Mujib, Atal Mujib Rashid was there. There was other people too, There are two other people too, other Imam too,
Yeah. Okay, so did you see all the children of Dr. Abdul Salam? Because he had two children with the white lady. Did they ever come to the Fazl Mosque? Did you ever see them?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see them, because we go there here and there because I was working. When there's an off holiday, maybe Friday sometime. It's just off. If I take a day off, then I go there. Otherwise, it's only Saturday, Sunday. When we go to see if Mirza Nasser came. When Mirza Nasser came, I went to see him anytime. Then after that, he came in very late, Mirza Tahir. Then I used to go see him, Yeah, at that time I was working, Yeah.
Okay. Was Mirza Luqman Ahmed with Mirza Nasser Ahmed every time?
Oh, yeah, I met Mirza. I know him, Mirza Luqman. Yeah.
How is Mirza Lukman? Is he a badmash like everyone says, or what is
He
he?
had a very, very, very bad. When I was in Rabwa, I'm talking about 19. Well, yeah, when I used to go from Karachi, I know I used to live in Karachi, but I used to go to see my mother. My mother lived in Rabwa, so I used to go to see my mother, and I heard his reputation. He was a very bad reputation. And there was other, people too, Naeem, and there was Hanif. That was son of Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, and they have a very bad reputation. Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Then in 1984, Mirza Tahir Ahmed moved to the UK, and
Yeah,
he immediately bought that land in Tilford. That was very strange that he bought that land. It must have been expensive back then. Where
it
did he get the
was
money from?
4 million. I think it was 4 million. I think it was 4 million. 400. That can't be 400,000. Maybe 400,000. I don't know. I paid. I paid £800 for that. I know
Oh
that.
no, they got you. They
that
got you.
that was my about 15, no, maybe more than 15 days, maybe month salary I gave them, that time. Could be month salary. I'm not sure about it. Yeah, that time, yeah, I gave that time. But
Yeah. So
I was really, very, yeah, yeah, I was Qadiani, yes, I was, yeah. But not that one, that kind of, but, of course, I paid chanda and all that. Give money. In money wise, I was very, you
generous.
very
Yeah.
open. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a
Yeah. So
charitable person because my mother was very charitable person. So she make me very charitable person too, Yeah,
yeah. So Mirza Tahir Ahmed comes to the UK, and the first piece of property he buys is the one in Tilford. He doesn't
yeah.
build another temple. There's only one temple in the whole country, and I
Yeah.
think they bought some of the houses around it, and
Oh, yeah, houses around. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's where
They
the
bought a
first.
house around in South Hall where I, because it's only 1 mile from my house, so we used to go there. Yeah, at that time, no, I used to live in a South Hall at that time, so I used to go there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And your father was a Molvi who was sent to Albania. Is that accurate?
Yeah, when my father done finish his education, he was with the other, elders, and in India, wandered around. Then they sent him to, Albania, 1934.
My records show 1936, but it could be
Or
somewhere.
not, maybe 30, 36, maybe, because what I read, because what I know, because I don't know about much about my father, because my uncle, only one my uncle, he told me about my father, but they were working. My father was away. They have a relationship. But it's not like that. They didn't tell me much about my father. People told me about my father. My teacher told me, and other people told me about my father, or my mother told me about, who was only 6 months married to him. After 6 months he's gone, so she didn't know much about him either too.
Yeah. So let me tell you what the Review of Religions of August 1946 says. The Review of Religions of August 1946 says that your father, or well, your father wasn't there because he was dead by 1946. But there was another Qadiani Amni Molvi, Muhammad Sharif, Malik Muhammad Sharif, and he reported to the headquarters that he converted a parliamentarian from Yugoslavia, which was, Albania, Yugoslavia was all sort of mixed
Oh,
up
yeah, yeah, yes, yes,
in that
yes.
time frame because the Russians wanted it and etc. But they converted a guy named Sharif Dosta to, and then the Albanian government captured him and executed him. Because
Oh. No, no.
yeah,
I met these Albanians, which was converted by my father, and there was a I have a picture of them, and he was a child that time, but he came to this jalsa here. I don't remember the year, and I met him. I brought them, their family at my home. We have a dinner or something like that. Yes, I met them. I met this family who was converted by my father. But my father was kicked out from Albania. He went to Yugoslavia. He was kicked out from there. Then he went to Saudi Arabia. That time it was a Hajj time. And then he was interpreter to the Shah, which Indian people come, and he was interpreter, and he done the Hajj. But they found out, and then they beat him, arrested him, beat him, and they deported him, somehow. But he was saved, otherwise they would have killed him, because they say he's a spy. My mother have his shirt with the blood, but somehow we lose that. We lost that one too, yeah. See, my father had a tough time, being a Qadiani, yeah.
Well, the same thing happened when in the 1920s when the second Khalifa sent his missionaries to Russia, to Central Asia. They were captured
Yeah,
and considered spies because the Russians
yeah,
don't allow Amni Molvis to come into their country to convert. It's same thing in China, so and like Mongolia.
yeah,
So anyhow, and interestingly, in the 1990s, Mirza Tahir Ahmed, he lied about conversions in Albania. Didn't he say that there were like millions of people who were converting in Albania or something like that?
I met a guy last week, last Sunday, in Hyde Park Speaker Corner, and he's from Albania, and I asked him, did you hear about Qadianis and or Ahmadis? He, it was a little bit, yeah, heard it, but not that much, the way they're talking about. No, it's not like that, But he was saying, yeah, because there are few people around here and there, everywhere in the world, Yeah.
Uncle, check this out. In 1995, Mirza Tahir Ahmed claimed that there were 45,000 people who converted to Ahmadiyya in Albania, which is a total lie. Never
Yeah.
happened. Not a single time did it happen.
No, 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 no. No, no, they don't. They are very poor. One thing is, Albania is the poorest country in the Europe, but now they are okay, a lot better now. And yes, I tell you, actually, my mother actually contributed to built a mosque, in Albania, and she gave them, about $20,000. I
Of
think
her jewelry?
$20,000.
Was it her jewelry?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Yeah, yeah, because they say, they came to my mother and they say, we want to build a mosque there. And which my brother actually told me. I don't know. I didn't ask my mother. My brother told me that they came to us and they say, we want to build a mosque, because my father, well, my my mother ex-husband, not what do you call it, she was married, but they got divorced. She was widow of that. So that's she did it actually. Yeah,
Okay, so that's a little bit of your background for the people who don't know who you are. So now let's talk about Speaker's Corner.
yeah, yeah. Let's go there.
Who is this
Yeah,
guy?
this guy is a actually he's not a missionary. He don't have much knowledge, but whatever he been taught in classes. Sometimes they have a classes and they tell them the few things about that Hazrat Isa was buried in India, and he was died. He didn't die on a cross and traveled to India, and they try to prove it that Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam didn't die, did die, and he's buried in India. And talk about this the ayah of Bismillah Rahman Rahim, ayah of Ya Isa inni mutwaffika rafiuka alayya, and other ayah of Surat Nisa, 157, 158, 157, 156, 56, 157. So they try to prove that kind of thing, but he's not knowledgeable, he's not knowledgeable. He didn't know that, there was a who's Ahle Kitab. He didn't know that. And to
He tried
him,
to say, Uncle, let me interrupt you. He tried to say Jews aren't in Ali Kitab. When he was cornered, he said
yeah.
no. Chapter 4, verse
And the next week,
169, the
yeah,
Jews are not included in Ali Kitab. Like, bro,
yeah,
knock it off, bro.
But next week he met the same guy and he accepted. Yeah, I know. And but one thing I tell you, they don't believe this Injil as a book of Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. They don't believe that. They don't believe that. And even they don't believe the virgin birth of Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. They don't believe that. Mirza never believe it.
Right.
That's in a Christianu book, the book Christianu. This is what it is in there.
Yeah, and let me interrupt you right there. Did you know Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that Yuz Asif brought the Injil to India?
No, I never heard of that. Actually, I tell you what I realize when they say Masih in India, it's not a Masih in India that Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. It's a Masih he himself, because this is this ayah of Al Imran ayah, this mutawaffi, the ayah of Ya Isa inni mutawaffika wa rafiuka alayya. From there, if you see the translation, what he did, in the end, what he said, there, Ya Isa mean me. So Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam is not what he's talking about. He's talking about himself, that died he himself. And he's in India, and not the Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. Because I saw all the documentaries, what they make it, and they couldn't prove that, that Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam was there, because Buddhist and Christianity actually they are nearly each other. That's what they thought. The Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam learned everything from Buddha. This is what
Yeah,
I saw, documentaries or all that kind of thing, Yeah.
yeah, and it's all hogwash. It's all just
Oh yeah,
nonsense.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I tell people the Portuguese were the first people in India, and the first
yeah.
thing that they did was they said Saint Thomas has been here. One of the disciples of Jesus came. They were making up a lie to
Oh yeah,
substantiate
yeah,
the colonization. They said
yeah,
no, since Saint Thomas came here, and look, here's a church that he built. He didn't build it. The Portuguese built it. But they said no,
yeah.
he built it 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad came up with the same theory, yada yada
Oh
yada.
yeah.
It makes no
No,
sense, and then he says he found the grave. He went too far, Uncle, with the grave of Yusuf. and
no. Well, actually, it was Maulvi Nuruddin. That was his idea. When because he was
a physician
you know,
for the Maharaja
position,
in
yeah,
Kashmir.
of that king, of Raja of Kashmir, and there he found it. Then came to him. He came to Mirza Qadiani and told him about that. And actually, there was all look. There was it was all uh, planned. It's not a plan of 1 year. It's a plan from last 1400 years, because they knew, the Christian and the Jews, they knew that how we can bring down Islam. They are trying to attack Quran. They couldn't do it because it's Arabic, so they couldn't do any can do any alteration there. They tried to do in Hadith, and they did some there, and but they say, what do we do about the man? So that's why they try to find a person who fit that. So they found it in the shape of Mirza Qadiani, who wasn't that knowledgeable person anyway. He knew what this Orientalist, have what they are learn about Islam, and they normally they try to find out, how we find a contradiction in Islam and in Quran and Hadith, and this is what he learned from them, and this was in India. He was having this debate with Hindus and Christians. Actually, what he was doing, he was aggravating them, to say bad thing about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Islam, and he want Muslim to come on his side. So then, then he can, actually, it was a planned thing. If you see that, this is what I saw it, and this is what they do here in the speaker corner. They go to Christian and they say, yes, we believe Hazrat Isa, Jesus was died, and the Muslim, Sunni don't believe that. This kind of thing. They're getting together with a Christian now. Yeah, this is always they want.
Right, right. Divide and conquer.
Yeah, divided rules. This is what which Qadiani does. Same the thing in a family. They're dividing families. If father become a Muslim, then they say, the children, that they take away children, wife, and the relative. If they still meet him, they will say, we get rid of you from Jamaat. And people are actually really fear. I don't know why they fear, but now I tell you, because I tell them, look, I am here, in speaker corner, I tell them, so they say, I may, anybody who accept Islam or leave Qadianiyat, he become a murtad and he died. And look, I'm still wondering, after 1400 years, for not 1400, sorry, 14 years, sorry, and people love it. I tell you, they love me over there. I'm like a celebrity there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Moses, Jesus, Joseph, you name it, Sufi, Peer, they call me that kind of name, over there. MashaAllah. Yeah.
Mashallah, mashallah. So okay,
And they're jealous.
you mentioned Nuruddin tempted Mirza Ghulam Ahmad with the Yuz Asif theory.
Yeah,
So I
that's right.
call it the
Yeah.
Yuz Asif theory.
Yeah.
He lived in Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's house, so which is haram. You can't live and be around someone else's wife, Bay Nakab, but they all lived together. And he was the main ghostwriter. He was the ideas guy. He wrote most of the books. Yada yada yada. Some people even say he was the father of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's children. Because
Well, look, I heard all kind of stories when I was young, but we say no. But now this Nida Al Nasser, she told them, she when she came out, now I really believe what I heard, when I was youngster, when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. After that, I was going in a there, but they hide everything.
right,
The problem was, if any woman who was they used it, they blackmailed it. Because and they also signed this bad paper. On the bad paper, do you see the bad paper? They say, yeah, I will give my life, I will give my izzat. My goodness, izzat mean, everything.
everything.
So, and I accept, this fake religion, the fake imposter Nabi called Mahdi or Masih or in Nauz Billah Rasul. So, people are really stuck, they can't come out. This is the problem now.
Right, 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 right. And once you're stuck, it's hard to come out. So okay.
Yeah.
Back to this brother here. He
Mhm.
came back the next week and he accepted that
Yeah.
he was incorrect. But he quoted Ibn Jarir and he said this is a Sahih Hadith from Ibn Jarir that was actually quoted in Tabari, and he misquoted it. But the Qadianis don't care to tell the truth. They don't
Oh, yeah.
care that
No.
Uncle. I'll tell you. I like to learn. My biggest hobby in the world is learning. You know,
Yeah.
um, I don't have a closed mind. I'm not like, okay, I support somebody no matter what. No, I don't do any of that. So when I wanted to learn about Qadianism, I was neutral, and I said, well, I want to learn. What is it? I wasn't. My attitude wasn't Qadianism, ha ha ha, and then let me go look at everything else. No, my attitude was, well, let me go read about it. I know how to read and
Yeah.
write really good.
Yeah.
Allah blessed me with the ability to read and write really good in English. So I said, well, let me go look at some of the academic books on Qadianism by Friedman, by Spencer Levon, by Fisher, by academics, not anyone who's a Muslim. Let me go see what the academics say. So
Yeah.
then I went and read this, then I went and read that, and I compared and contrast. These guys don't care about any of that. Look, here's a tweet by Razi just recently where he says the only reason he and other Qadianis moved out of Pakistan is to do tabligh. So they think freedom of religion is the ability to do tabligh, which is not true. If you want to practice your religion, not every Muslim has to be a muballigh. Not every Muslim, first you have to know it. You have to know Islam, which takes
Oh
a long
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, only very few of us will know Islam thoroughly enough to try to convert people to Islam, right? So in in this tweet, you'll see Rusty saying, these everything he does and everything these Qadianis do is for the public to see, um, and to try to embarrass people and humiliate people. It's not
yeah.
the truth. This is not for the
No,
truth. It's all
no, no, no,
clickbait.
no. That's very
So,
true. That's very true.
and
When they talk to me, they say, "Oh, do you know Arabic? If you don't know Arabic, you don't know anything." I say, "I know Urdu, and I Mirza Qadiani books all in Urdu. Mirza Bashiruddin books are all in Urdu. Good job, I
yeah,
wasn't.
so,
I
so
become a good
they always
reader.
jump to
Yeah.
the language argument.
Oh yeah,
If they see someone who doesn't know Urdu, they'll say, "You don't know Urdu. You don't know the books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed." Ha ha ha. And then
yes,
if they talk, so they'll make that an argument where it's like, well, in America, 99% of the American-born Qadianis can't read Urdu. In the
that's right.
UK, in America, Canada, the UK, Australia, all of Africa, none of them can read Urdu.
Yes.
So it's like, even so,
Oh yes.
they make arguments that are contradictory and they don't
Yeah.
care. And the reason is financial gain. Everyone got some financial gain. You know,
Yeah, that's very true. That's
my
very, very
father,
true.
it's all about the money. My father got a job and a wife, a job at Wabda, a really, really good job at Wabda, just because he was a Qadiani Amdi. And his uncle, who converted him, was going to give him his shop, his business, and so that's why he converted. I have a brother who was promised my dad's small business. I have a cousin who was my dad gave them a gas station. Um, People were given things and then they convert. Now it's asylum, which is a lottery ticket. To a
Yeah, yeah,
Pakistani, a visa to the West is a lottery ticket.
yeah.
So
That's
now
true.
they're
That's very
offering
true.
lottery tickets for,
Yeah,
hey, if you convert, pay Jannah for a year, we'll get you to the West. So it's all about the money. Even Nuruddin lost his job in Kashmir, right? That's why he gave him to
yeah,
Qadian. He you lost his job, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So now he
yeah,
needed a way to make money. Molvi Abdul Kareem, who led the prayers, he needed a job because he quit his job as a Ali Hadith imam and then came there. So anyhow, back to, so they do the language argument. Then if you're an Arab, they'll say, oh, you don't know Urdu. If you're a Pakistani and you're Arabic, oh, you don't know Arabic. But brother, why are there translations of the Urdu books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad then? Are is reading his English not valid? The translations is that not okay? Is look, I don't need to be an expert in Arabic. I go read Tafsir Ibn Kathir. He's an expert.
yeah,
I go and
yeah,
read Suyuti's commentary. He's an expert. I go and read all these experts over the last 1,000 years, read what they
yeah.
said.
That's true. That's
I'm
what it is.
That's what it is. It's not so, but they make these silly contradictory arguments. They don't care. They'll make it just depends. They're looking to win an argument. And that's my problem. Is
No,
why are
no,
you looking to win an argument? You should be
yeah,
seeking the facts. Here's the
yeah,
facts of the case, whatever the case is, you know, and now let's figure it out. So, for example, Yusuf is not married, is buried next to a guy named Sayyid Nasiruddin in Kashmir. Who is this guy? Well, he's the nephew of the of like the 10th Shia Imam. Why is he buried there also?
yeah, yeah,
You see
yeah,
what I mean? And that's a fact. That's a fact. The other fact is the building that where he's buried, it's only 200 years old. So they must
yeah,
have just built it 200 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
It's not like an
yeah.
old structure.
No,
So
no,
anyhow,
no, no. If there was a that kind of if the Jesus came over there and his grave is there, there would be the biggest church in the world over there, because
Right.
they built church on their, popes and these kind of people, their elders. So it's a proven, but actually it's a waste of time talking about grave, and talking about dying of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and talking about Khatm Nabuwat, talking about they have few ayah, they bring those few ayah, and they say you give us an answer. But my argument is, you cannot. You have to read the total Quran with the total Hadith, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has explained and actually on act on upon that Quran, the talimat, the teaching of Islam himself. And this is what in the shape of in a Hadith. This is the way what I did. I said, forget everything, keep the slate clean, and start all over again, accept Islam. La ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, and I pick up the Quran and pick up the old books, not a new one, and start all over, start it. This is the way I did it, and that's why I'm here, and I can speak, I can talk about it. Otherwise, if I be going there now, what they are saying is, and actually they bring the argument is so insulting. They say, oh, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fly there? Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, what he does, what he eat, where he shit. My God, what the hell are you talking about? This kind of thing, when they bring it, then, I get upset. I try not to, but I do. And then they say, Mirza Qadiani, and they're talking about Mirza Qadiani, bring Rasulullah sallallahu there, or the Anbiya alayhi salam there, and people get upset, and they
Right.
actually want to get upset, and then
Right.
you talk rubbish, and then you lose your temper, or then they say, oh, look at that, Muslim, what are they doing?
Right.
They talk politics. They were talking about Arabs. They were talking about Pakistani, what's the parliament does. Or they were talking about something happened. Actually, it's all family fraud. And they were giving everything, talking about, oh, Muslim does that, Muslim does that. Well, you keep saying whatever you're saying. And unfortunately, West, accept that,
Right. Right. Right.
because
So
this is what they want. They
right.
want to destroy Islam.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, they don't want their people to become a Muslim. Actually, what's going on now, Qadiani are actually want to keep their people what they have. They don't. That's why they bring the bad name of Islam, and although they call themselves a Muslim and their religion is Islam, but still they say, "Oh yeah, Sunnis they are doing." Here they are calling Sunnis, only Sunni. The people ask me, "Are you Sunni?" I said, "Look, I follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quran and Hadith, and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who I am?" They say, "You're Muslim." I say, "I'm Muslim." That's what it is.
That's it. That's
It's
it.
very easy. Shia come to me, all that kind of thing. I said, look, I'm Muslim. And I was that, and I become Muslim, mashallah. Allah shows me the right path. Now I learn it. Now I come here to let you know what the real Qadianiyat is.
Right. Right.
Because
Right.
I'm born with them, live with them, I know that.
Yeah. So back to this guy. He also said that atheists can go to heaven.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because, and they have an ayah. In the Quran, there is an ayah, but they don't, they have, only that portion, but they don't in back. They don't, they don't read before that, and they don't read after that. If you read it, then you understand it.
Right.
Here's
Right.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And no, no, no. So Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan said that there is no heaven, there is no hell. This is what the Qadianis believe. They don't believe in a concept. They believe everyone can go to hell and come out. Whereas Muslims, we believe a Muslim can go to hell, but it's temporary until they're allowed into heaven. But the Qadianis say no, everyone that goes to hell can come out and go to heaven. Where no, that's not
No,
that's
no,
not the truth.
actually, I tell you, now I gone to their mind, and because I am with Muslims, and what some Muslims are saying, they're committing the sin, and they are saying, because there's a hadith, if you commit a sin, and you have a prayer after that, because there's a hadith there, and this I know that. And if you, if suppose, in the morning, have a prayer, all the sin of your night is cleared up. Now the day started. If you commit any sin, but if you perform a prayer of Zohar, your all sin been cleared. A similar carry on like that. Then if they say all the sin be cleared between one Friday to another Friday. Now all the sin is cleared between one Umrah to another Umrah. And then all the sin will be cleared when you do the Hajj. You see, this thing actually, people are thinking that way. This is the way they are thinking, because there's one other one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you believe in, if you believe in me and Yawm Qiyamah, any other thing between that, I forgive. This is the way they think about it. But they're completely forgotten. This is the teaching of Islam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaching. But this is not the teaching of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. His teaching is entirely different. Because if you don't believe that, you are a children of prostitute. You are a bastard. This is what he called. Because they say, if you don't believe me, then you want to become a really bastard. That's the translation of what he said. This is what I say now.
Yeah.
This is what I say. Whoever believes Mirza Qadiani, he is what Mirza Qadiani said to us. I use that word, but I don't want to use it here.
Yeah. So Qadiani Amnis don't even believe in hell. Brother, that they believe heaven, Jannah was on earth, and they believe
Yeah,
that
yeah,
astaghfirullah, that but then they that's why Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's concept of angels. He had Tichi Tichi, he had a
yeah.
sing, he had a female angel. He didn't see Jibrail till the end, and that was
No,
even a lie. But
yeah.
he didn't believe in angels. So he didn't believe in jinn. He didn't believe in heaven. He didn't believe in hell. He didn't believe in any.
Yeah, even Shaitan, what they were saying, Shaitan is a man,
Is a man.
human.
They believe that Iblis will eventually go to heaven. Also, is what the Qadianis believe. So
Well, my brother told me this is the life. This is no more. Well, actually, this is the only, he said to me, Bhaijan, this is only life. What do you, because to me, what they believe now or understand, there's no life after death. This is what they give me that impression. you know whether they are giving this impression to some other people, because mostly people say there's no other life over there. After that there's no life. So maybe they are thinking of convincing them to bring them to their side, because they needed numbers. They want numbers. you know and
right,
they are only interested in number. Is a lot of
numbers, yeah.
numbers. They think, look at that, we are progressing. This is what they say.
Right. When in reality they're shrinking
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah.
in
I just received three families accept Islam in Kashmir. They send me the photograph of those families. Three, and those people in Kashmir, I asked them. They say, we never been to Rabua, we never been to Qadian. From where this religion come to Kashmir? How it's come, and how our elder become Qadiani? We don't know. They are illiterate people. Now they're realizing it, and now they are becoming Muslim. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
brother,
what's happening.
I had read a report that the Qadianis have a big temple in Srinagar, Kashmir, and I was like, how did they get it? So I think the government, which was a Sikh
Oh yeah,
government,
yeah. Indian government. Indian
well,
government.
no, at the time in 1940, it was a Sikh government in Kashmir that was running the state on behalf of the British, and the Sikh government gave them this land and this property, and because they wanted them, since they weren't Muslim, they were like, we want some non-Muslims over here causing trouble. So
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
they still have the temple in Srinagar. It's mostly empty, like all their temples are empty.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's empty
So
here too. Yeah, they're making their temple. Very few people go there, because mostly people, especially the youngster nowadays. Actually, This is what I tell them, this is good for you. You are very fortunate people that you left the country, and your parent may go to, if they accept Islam, they go to, they save from hell. But you have a chance to, save yourself from hell, and you have to study Islam yourself instead of, studying their book and thinking this is Islam. That's not Islam. You have to study about Islam yourself, Quran or a Hadith, and see. Don't look at the Muslim. If a Muslim is a bad, it's not Islam is bad. It's a person is a bad guy. He's a sinner. It's not the Islam making him a sinner, because nowadays they are attacking Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Quran, very, very, aggressively. And the Qadiani joined them, the Christian, because they are saying, oh, this is not in this Quran. And another thing, the Shia, which I didn't know, that Shia also don't believe that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam been saved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't believe that. They also believe, and Hazrat Isa alayhi salam has been died. They also believe that.
Oh,
Now I'm gonna
I
have
had
a
no idea. I had no idea.
no, this is because there was some guy, have a debate with Christian, and they both were saying, both were saying, if we have one thing in common. He said, what? That Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam has been died. So I make a comment about that. Is he a Qadiani? And they said, no, he's a Shia. The answer came back to me. He was a Shia. Then I knew that. Otherwise, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
So okay, and one more thing. In my opinion, based on the financials that I've seen, they've spent over $100 million in the last 50 years in chanda collection and buying properties. 100 million for nothing. They just wasted 100 million. It's a waste of money. I've helped more people in my life. Just people I've worked with and I've taught how to fix something. More impactful than what they've did. They don't help the poor. They don't help in the
no, no,
West.
no.
They don't help. They don't do any of that. They don't do any of that. And in Africa, they get funding from the governments for starting schools. In fact, in the Gambia in 1997, they were expelled. All the missionaries, all the Qadiani Pakistani missionaries, got kicked out of the Gambia in 1997.
Yeah.
But the Gambian government was forced to accept them back in 2 months because they were teaching at these schools. And in West Africa and East Africa, the government doesn't run schools for free. Um, and if someone starts a school, they'll pay for it. They'll go get, if you can pull it off with land, they'll give you money for it. So the Qadianis are making money by starting these schools in West Africa,
And hospital.
and hospitals,
Hos-
and
Yeah.
then they send Murabbis. Most of their Murabbis teach English, at the school. They don't even do Murabbi stuff. You know what I mean? So
No,
it's a
no,
total business.
well, this is a word. You are living in a world which is actually, Shaitan is working, very hard, because Allah gave him that power, to go and, all the people, the truthful people, will be tested through him, And some people now the Mirza Qadiani God name is Yalash, and the angels are Tichi Tichi, and there's another, well, there are other names too, which is really, very vulgar type of name. I can't even pronounce that name. That kind of name he has. Actually, he has all this shatani ilham and shatani everything. This is what I
Shaitan.
say. I call them is a he was a Dajjal, and their religion is a Dajjaliyat, and the
Yes.
follower of that this religion is Dajjalid. This is what I call them. This is the new name I've given to them.
Yeah.
And the books, they are Shatani Khazain. This is the
Shaitani
book I call it,
Shaitani.
Dajjali Khazain.
So okay. Let's go back to Speaker's Corner. Who's this guy who refused to talk about Muhammadi Begum? He was like, no. He lied. He lied and said he didn't know enough. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
he doesn't know the Quran or the Hadith either. He acts
No,
like
no,
he knows the Quran and the Hadith, but he doesn't know. So the who's the Sheikh Muhammad? He knew he was lying. He knew he was
no,
lying.
no. I was standing there.
Yeah, he
I
said,
was
no,
there. You
he's
see me?
lying. I'm gonna keep my foot on his neck with Muhammadi Begum, no matter
Yeah,
what. So,
yeah.
who is this guy? What's his name?
No, I because when I went that day and they were talking to other people, and I went there normally, I tried, I thought myself, I'll be very calm today. I won't, go berserk or something like that. But when I saw them talking, lying to people, then I intervened. And then I told them, these people don't believe in the Quran. They don't believe in a hadith, and they are not Muslim. They are they are kafir. They are murtid. They are the jalins. This is what I was saying. And then this guy, he didn't want to talk to me because when I came there, I said, look, if he don't know tazkara, he didn't know anything. The only thing he has to know about Tazkara, because all his, this lies of Ilham lies in that book,
Right.
and he said, I don't know. If you don't know, you don't know nothing then. What you're talking about,
And why are you here? Why are you at Speaker's Corner if
he
you
was
don't
expert
know?
in he was expert in he was saying I'm expert to prove that Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam has been passed away. This is what he's a specialist about it. Do you know that? He was saying, yes, I will talk about that. So he had this debate with other people. I heard that, because they have this 3-4 ayah which is they explain, and they bring nowadays they bring some more ayah, and which I know that, and they try to prove that tawaffa mean is a death, and there's about Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radhiyallahu ta'ala in there he said once place that mutawaffi mean is mamit, but when I read all of that, then he said, no, about Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam, he didn't say that. There's a whole chapter in Tafsir ibn Kasir, about that. So
Yeah,
people don't read that one.
just
Yeah.
to be clear, Ibn Abbas meant in the future, and he was saying that chapter 3, verse 55, and some Muslims have said this. He said chapter 3, verse 55 is not in sequence, in wa, like it's not happening in order. And he said the death of Isa alayhi salam will happen in the future when he returns. So he said
Yeah.
in this way it's possible, but that's not even the main thrust of the verse. That's a secondary, tertiary meaning. Now you can also derive. It does not contradict the original meaning. The original meaning is mutawafika, Allah captured, Allah took, etc., etc. So okay. So this Qadiani refused to talk about anything other than the death of Isa alayhi salam.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all they know. What's his name?
Yeah.
Did you get a name?
I, maybe HR, maybe HM, that kind of thing. They don't tell you their name. And there
Yeah,
was a boy standing beside him, and he was hiding his face. I said, if you're hiding your face, what kind of person he was. And this guy, he's called himself Arabs. I said, you are
Arab.
Arabs? He said, yeah. So I said, how you become a Qadiani? You tell me you believe somebody more than 100 years ago, he said, I'm Mehdi, I'm Masih, and you believe that being Arab? You surprise me because you are, after generation, you are Muslim. Even you are a Christian, still you don't believe that kind of thing. What he was talking about. I have some kind, I have not debate. I have a talk with him. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
so
that.
they bring him on. They say, "Oh, well, we have an Arab here who's they didn't
Yeah,
say he's
yeah,
from Syria." They're like, "He
yeah,
knows
yeah,
Arabic, and he's
yeah,
saying this means that just because you know Arabic doesn't mean you know what it's in the Quran. Most people who know Arabic, they're not experts on the Quran. It's not,
yeah, yeah,
you got to go read the tafsir, and to figure out what things mean." So he was from Syria.
Yeah,
Do you know the center of the Qadiani operation in the Arab world?
I was in Palestine.
Well, not no, not in Palestine, in Israel.
Well, we call it Palestine anyway. This is what I learned. This is what I learned in a Hyde Park corner. People don't call Israel. Muslim people call Israel. They say no, it is a Palestine. This is what they say.
The Qadianis love Palestine. They not Palestine. I meant Israel.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. No,
they
no,
got
but this is
they are considered
Muslim.
Muslim.
Muslims say
They are
yeah, yeah,
considered Muslim in
yeah.
Israel. They
Oh
are
yeah.
free to preach, so they love it. They absolutely love it. It's the best place in
They
the world.
consider. I was reading in India. They also consider. They were saying on on a YouTube. I saw that in India they've been considered as a Muslim, and here the Christian also consider them as a Muslim. Then when I told them they are not Muslim, they say they use Quran. They do everything according to Islam. I said, yeah, if somebody adopted Quran and living a life according to Quran, but not accepting the teaching of Islam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fully, and following somebody who's an imposter, who's a fake, he make a fake religion, and it's the Jaliyat religion, and what do you do? So it's mean, yes, they have Quran in their hand, they have Hadith in their hand, but they misuse it, misinterpret it, that's what's going on.
Right. The center of their operation is in Cabo Beer. I actually got to have a lot of work on this about to come out. I've already
Yeah.
written like a lot about it, and my photos won't load. But yeah, here, let me put it in the chat real quick. If you're interested, go to my blog and search Cabo Beer. It'll come right up. Um, so yeah, they'll get Arabs to say, "Yeah, look, I'm an Arab. I know Arabic, and I'm telling you what this means." And I spelled it wrong, but okay.
No, no,
So
Christian know Arabic. Any person living in Arab, whether they are Christian, whether they're Jew, they use Assalamu alaikum, they use
right,
Alhamdulillah, they use La ilaha. This, I met all these Jews. He always say La ilaha illallah, Alhamdulillah. I said, say Muhammad Rasulullah. Say, I'm not going there. you know, and no, I have very good conversation with the Jews and Christian and all that, you know.
yeah.
It's
So hold
actually
on,
I
hold
learned
on.
so much, in the last few months, which I didn't know in the past 80 years. What I learned in so much there. What kind of
Yeah,
question a Christian posed to Muslim? What kind of question they Qadiani posed to Muslim? What other Shia posed to Muslim? Yeah, I understand that. So when I come home and read Quran and see tafsir and see all that what they're talking about. Normally, people do clear it. They are those the people who have a debate with the Christian and Qadiani. They have a very good knowledge of Quran and Hadith and everything. Yeah,
so
yeah. This
what
guy
about this
Khalid.
guy? What about this
Yeah,
guy?
Khalid. He's a gut. I told him, you born in a gutter and you live in a gutter. You bloody die in a gutter because he was talking about Astanja they're standing there talking about Astanja. Tell me what kind of person he is. You know, we're talking about Deen and all kind. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, our Quran and our Hadith. He's talking about Astanja, and in English, that kind of thing he was talking about. They're dirt. They're they're filthy people.
Yeah. What temple does he
Yeah,
go to?
and then what actually happened? Yeah, this is the first time I met him, and you have seen that. And he brought this Khatamun Nabiyyin and that kind of thing. I said, well, look, this is leave this one, and also it's a stamp, and well, I didn't go there, because I was really that the first time, and I was really upset, when seeing these people and talking about, about our deen, in a very bad way. So, I got upset. But what he said one day, he rang me. He said, Jamal, are you coming there? I said, yeah, I will come. What do you want? He said, I want to talk about Surat Asr. I said, okay, I prepared myself and done everything. I went there. When I went there, he brought a 13-year-old boy, and he said he want to have a question some question with you. And he had this, this pad, and it's all few ayah was written there. And I say, and I literally gone berserk. A good job I didn't slap him. Good job I didn't say all kind of thing. But when the people were saying, what happened? What happened? I told them this is what happened. And people then they realized that I was a Qadiani and I become a Muslim, and they want to bring my name, in the dirt, and they want to, defame me. I'm not a famous guy anyway, but they want to do something about that. And then I rang him, I said, look, why you did that to me? He said, you are easy trap. The word is trap, which is, I was saying all along, the Qadianis are trapped. That's why what I saw when I left that Friday, they were trapped, they were slaves, they were shackled, and they can't do much about themselves. That's why I left Qadiani. Went in their temple as a Qadiani and come out as a Muslim. That's what happened. Yeah.
Got it. So I have another question about Speaker's Corner. Have you ever seen Noonan there?
Ah,
Ibrahim.
yeah, no, no. Oh, yeah, I met him. This somebody, yeah, this Lake, he came to me. He said, there's somebody want to talk to you. No, someone else, other people. They left Qadianiyat. His name is Abu Bakr, and his father is, teach in the Jamia, and he left Qadianiyat. Then he came to me. He said, Uncle, there's a person he want to talk to you. I said, well, that's it. Who is that? Then he told me he's from there. I said, okay. I went there and sit down with him. I have spoken to him, and he told me his name is Ibrahim, and Nuna, something like that. And he had a mosque name called Maryam. Can you imagine? Masjid Maryam?
Yeah, in
And then,
Ireland.
I said, okay, yeah, we didn't have any debate, but I told him, what I believe, what I thought, but he was very polite. He was saying, he was very telling me, normally they say very impressed and you are very nice and this and that, and he tell me all kind of things. He had a picture with me, he shared my picture. And then, this Abu Bakr told me about him, who he is. When I found out, my goodness, he's a bigger liar than than Mirza Qadiani.
And
When
let me tell you
yeah,
a little bit about him. I think his first wife was a Sunni Muslim, and his second wife was a Qadiani, and he
I
abandoned his
didn't say that.
he
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
I wrote his whole story. I think he didn't want to pay child support because he was into brown women. Some white guys are like that, right? They
All right.
want a brown woman. He admitted to being this kind of guy. He'd go on these party trips to Egypt, Morocco, seeking brown women. He ended up marrying one, had kids with her, and he's a deadbeat. He doesn't have a job. He didn't have a job. He didn't go to college. He lies about going to college, right? So he found the Ahmadiyya movement. They were going to give him a job, and his pay is so low he doesn't have to pay child support. So he was able to get out of his situation he was in, and they gave him a
Oh, I
job.
really.
Then
I really.
Mirza Tahir Ahmed would not make him a Murabbi. He did not go to Jamia, nothing. Atal Mujib Rashid personally taught him. Well, how does that qualify him to be an imam? That's not how you qualify to be an imam. Is
Yeah,
personal.
he told me that he was taught by Ataul Mujib,
Yeah, everyone
but
else
he
has to go
was
to
in the
Jamia. Everyone else
yeah,
has to go to Jamia and
but
pass
this is
the
what he
Arabic
said.
class.
He was telling me that he was in a Jamia too. Maybe here in Jamia Maybe,
He's
and but he
full of
was
it.
saying he was in a Pakistan because he married to a my wife know that family very, very well because they were their neighbor, and they are here now. They are also our neighbor, not very far away from where his in-laws live. My wife knows that woman who got married to him. Actually, these people are looking for Indian wife or Pakistani wife. They are very obedient. They are very nice. But I don't know who these four women are. I don't know. One of
Oh,
his
oh
Pakistani
no. Oh, in the picture, or you talking about the other women he was chasing?
on a picture, on a picture.
Oh yeah, so this photo was something I found on a website, and as men are not supposed to shake hands with women, right?
Oh,
And then especially if you're an imam, if you're an imam, then it's like you really, really keep it here or keep it here, or I don't know, give him a salute. I don't know
no,
about the
no, they are not Muslim. He knows that. He knows that. He
yeah.
knows. He
Yeah, so
understands.
so funny part of his
Yeah,
story. The funny thing about him is Mirza Tahir Ahmed would not make him a murabbi, would not do it. He died. Mirza Tahir Ahmed died, and one of the first things Mirza Masroor Ahmed did was make Noonan a murabbi and send him to Ireland.
yeah.
That,
Maybe
but
I
he does
don't know
not
about that.
qualify. He does
Yeah,
not
yeah,
speak Arabic enough. And there's others in the USA. There was an African American that went to Rabwa. Again, did not attend Jamia, did not graduate Jamia, did not
yeah,
pass
yeah.
Arabic, doesn't know enough Arabic to, et cetera, et cetera. So, uh,
Yeah, I meet them. I meet them. This African coming there, or these, these people are here. And this, but Nuna came there, and actually they are coming in big numbers now because now from last week when I went there, they were there. Well, you know that, but they were there, but Sheikh wasn't there. That's why we didn't have a debate. So I didn't meet them. I met only this Arab guy and talked to him. And. That's it. Otherwise, I was busy with other people too. So this week I will go, but this Sunday they won't be there because they have a jalsa. So
yeah,
I think they might come next Sunday, and then we're going to see what's going to happen. What happen? We know what's going to happen. Sheikh is very, very, yeah, strong. About talking about. They call him is a bag, oh, bag. What bag is chit bag or whatever it is called him? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So okay. That's all of my questions, and we have some guests here. Brother Dr. Sayed Holy Spirit, who is
Oh yeah, yeah. I've spoken to them.
an
Yeah.
amazing researcher. He's here. Do you have any questions, brother? And brother Boz Ahmed, feel free to chime in also.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Walaikum
salam.
salam wa
Walaikum
rahmatullahi wa
assalam.
barakatuh.
How are you, Jamal Saab?
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. As you see me, I'm here.
Yes, I talked to Jamal Saab a couple of days ago.
Yeah, come on.
And
Yeah, I was waiting. Yeah, we didn't finish the conversation actually.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, the thing is, the Shaji channel is in English, and every other language is kind of forbidden here. And which
All
is
right.
good because I have seen that Qadianis in Jalsa Salana are
Mhm.
talking in English 80% of the time. And they are trying to give a message to the English speaking generation because majority of them has immigrated to Europe or United States and Canada, and they
Yeah.
don't care about Pakistanis anymore, and they don't want to tell them what's happening around there. So have you seen Jamal Saab, the Jalsa Salana, which is going on since yesterday?
No,
Was it
no,
the
no, 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 no. I didn't see anything yet.
right? And Shaji, what's your main topic today with Jamal Saab?
Nothing. Just basically a bit of introduction on who he is, and then the speaker's corner. There's been a lot of action on speaker's corner. I asked him about that. We talked about Mirza Tahir Ahmed lying about the bats in Albania in the mid '90s. How much of a liar he is in general. How he would do anything for bats. We also talked about Hassan Odeh. which he still lives in the UK. He wrote the famous book about the Qadianis, where he mentioned the Zia al-Haq prophecy. He mentioned living at Tilford. Uncle Jamal is going to follow up and help us get in contact with Hassan Odeh, the Qadianis in Kababir, Sharif Odeh, etc.
Yeah, you have got the lots of topics covering. I mean, let's talk about with the Jamal Saab the current topic, and Mirza Tahir was the biggest liar. I learned one
Yeah,
lesson from Mirza Tahir. I used to hear tell so many lies that the man in front start thinking that's the only truth. So that
yeah,
man, Mirza Tahir, would start with the lie and he will go on lying, 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 and nothing else.
yeah.
So you must have met Mirza Tahir, isn't it right?
Yeah, many a time. He
What do
was.
you
I
think of
was.
him? You see, my impression is that he starts with a lie, finish with a lie, and then if somebody goes on and he say, I have said what I have to say, when people
I-
catch on his lies. What do you
yeah,
say?
I tell you what. I didn't in past, because I didn't watch him. I'd go and meet him, talk to him, but I was very, very friendly with him, uh, because I was solely thinking of him as our spiritual leader, and my mother is above them. So my mother was above them. So in that sense, but lying thing is once I found out because I was in an office once and there was a guy ringing, calling in Africa, and they're saying, this. Some of one of this guy was coming. Mirza Tahir was going, or Mirza Masroor was going there, and I said we needed 20,000 baht. I said, how you can have a 20,000 baht? So from there I realized they are. This is not right, And then then I start the old Mirza Tahir, conversation, this question and answer thing, and this is what he was giving a dars on a Quran. Then I realized this guy hasn't got a clue because okay, he born there, he always talk about that, and that's why he knows all these things. Otherwise, he don't know. He just lie because one thing I realized because Mirza Qadiani, whether he didn't read in the book, someone else read it in the book, and so all lies and they say this he was our grandfather, so we follow him. That's all lie. And another thing, lie is for them is not a lie, that's a hikmat. Because I remember 20 years ago I was in Rabwa and my elders were there, and there was a big meeting there and all this ashrafia of Rabwa was there, and then I said to them, you actually lie and you call this hikmat. Hikmah. So I realized that. Then he said one thing which is really this ayah of Mushtabaha ayat, and Muhkamat ayat. He said we can actually translate or interpret this ayah Mushtabaha into from Muhkamat. We can take from there. Then I realized, my goodness, what he's talking about, Yes, I realized he was a liar and he was a very crafty, he impressed with his speeches, and that's why he impressed you too.
Yeah. I'll tell you their muhkamat. You must
Yeah,
have read Tafsir Saghir, Surah Al Imran,
yeah,
verse
yeah,
number 7. Huwa allazi nazzala alayka al-kitaba minhu ayatum muhkamatum wa ukhra mutashabihat.
yeah.
Underneath, he has written that the muhkamat mean those who have come towards the Muslim, and mutashabihat mean those who has been taken from other religions. I have
All
never
right,
seen such
all
a
right.
no, it's in Tafsir Saghir. I'm
I will
giving
see
you
that. I will see that. I got that one.
verse number 7,
Yeah,
Al
yeah.
Imran. And the other thing in the translation, it say, فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فِي قَلُوبِهِمْ زَيْغٌ فَيَتَّبِعُونَ مَا تَشَابَهَ مِنْهُ ابْتِغَاءَ الْفِتْنَةِ وَابْتِغَاءَ تَأْوِيلِهِ وَمَا
Mhm.
يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ يَقُولُونَ آمَنَّا بِهِ كُلٌّ مِّنْ عِندِ رَبِّنَا I read from my memory, so if I make some error, so I seek forgiveness for
Allah
that.
forgive you. Allah
Eh,
forgive you. Don't worry about it.
But
I can't.
look at
You
the
can. I can't.
translation.
Yeah.
It says, no one knows the tawil or the meaning of these which are not clear, illallah, except Allah. Then there is a meme sakan, which mean in Arabic,
Yeah.
subject finished there.
Yeah.
Then it says, warrasikhuna fil ilm, and those who are firm in their knowledge, yaquluna, they say, amanna behi, I believe in this. You know, behi mean this which has been said. And you know what the Mirza Mahmud has translated? No one knows the meaning except Allah and those who have been given a full knowledge of it. You understand? He has twisted the meaning for including himself that he is also the one. So they have twisted the meanings of the Holy Quran so much. And now today in Jalsa, you know, in midday speech, that loony guy called Masrura, he was going on about that we have translated so many languages, 73 languages we have translated Quran. And if this
Yeah.
is the translation you are providing to the people, you are insulting Islam.
Yeah. This is
Because
what they want. Yeah.
about Quran, there is a claim in the Quran. And I tell everybody, in Surah Al-Qamar, one verse is 4 times, same verse. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ
Yeah.
مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We have made the Quran easy to understand. Is there anyone who think and understand? And how it has been made easy in Surah Maryam, it says, فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَهُ بِلِسَانِكَ. We have made it easy in language, in Arab. And in case somebody think there are double meaning words in it, God says in Surah Yasin, وَمَا عَلَّمْنَهُ الشِّعْرَ وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ. We have not taught poetry to the Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means there is no double meaning. And this idiot comes who is called Muda, the nana of this loony guy Masroor, and he tells you that actually what God knows, and God is saying that I have kept some things for future which are not clear. Mutashabih in Arabic mean
Yeah.
unclear, not open now. Muhkamat mean which is firm. And he says muhkamat mean which is given to Muslim, and mutashabihat mean which has been taken from other religion. Tafsir Saghir, Surah Al Imran, verse number 7, comment number 1, 2, and 3. Qadianio, go and have a look. Now,
Yeah.
the one more comment I'll make, Jamal Sir, for you, because you have talked about it. Good news, Qadianio, 217,000 people have converted last 12 months. That's what the announcement he has made. Now, I think the Qadianis are either they leave the brain home and come and watch a liar. They have been showing Shaji, Uganda, Canada, Middle East, Pakistan, everywhere, Israel, whatever country, you know, you have got the photos. Jamal Saab, look at these
Yeah.
photos. All of them put together from all over the world who are watching the lies of this paranoid psychotic. You know, I'm not blaming in medicine. Paranoid psychosis is psychotic man is the one, it's a part of schizophrenia who cannot look in your eyes and do mim exact. I think the best example of paranoid psychosis is Mirza Masroor. No better example. If I have to teach my student, my dear, what is paranoid psychosis, I'll show him the speech of Mirza Masroor. I said, the man who does like this is the classic paranoid psychotic.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
add all those people together from all the countries, they don't even add up to 300-400. And he is claiming 217,000 only this year have converted. So my question to Qadiani is very simple. My dear Qadianis, are you out of your mind? Where are those 217,000 people? And their claim is that there are 200 million. Shaji, 200.
Yeah,
Oh, look at this 200 million. I think the Qadian and the other thing. No, 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 no. I have watched him. Actually, I wasted my time, couple of hours on this loony guy. Uh, he said, "Oh, we have made the arrangement for 40,000 people this Jalsa Salana." Jamal Saab, 40,000.
yeah,
You know, that marquee maker I called, they have hired from. He said, "Oh, some of it they own." I said, "My dear, tell me how many people can sit." He said, "That's the maximum capacity of 5,000 people. We don't allow more than that." No, no, that's his
yeah.
claim.
That's it. You
No, no.
true. This is true. Yeah,
And you know, you have been Qadiani and I have been to Jalsa Salana myself. This marquee is no bigger than what Mirza Tahir used to place. If you include, it was half empty basically. You know, there was a camera
yeah,
vision which was making them concentrated. If you take the close up, there's a huge gaps in between them. If you include everybody, it's less than 5,000 people in there, and he is claiming 40,000. I think Qadianis either they leave their cerebrum home or there's some problem. And those 200 million, you count them, I think they add them up, and when they become 200, they say, add the million next to it. That's how
yeah.
it looks like. What do you say about it, Jamal sir?
This is the biggest lie you ever heard. Look at that, the flag they have. Actually, in these countries, they send their one guy or two guy, and they live there, and they talk to the people, especially and they invite them, and whoever be coming in their invitation for a food, or especially the poor countries, and they might have a signature of some paper, and they but that not this number is unthinkable, you know, because it's when you see go to the jalsa, but I used to go there, but I never bothered about this thing, numbers and all that, because we were part of that thing, lie anyway. If you're part of a lie, you believe whatever he say. But now realize is so much lie, because now people try to find the truth, and truth become a lie now. What we can do? This is what's happening, and they are being blackmailed. They've been threatened. They can't leave it because you are here, because due to us you can't leave it. We may get rid of it from this country because they have not proper paperwork yet. So this kind of thing happening, it's not that kind of number, people. I can't believe that. If I
Well,
believe that, I'll be living in a cuckoo land.
Shaji, they were the millions of African. You just showed them
Yeah,
millions of
yeah,
Africans sitting there. Oh
yeah,
my God. I
Yeah.
mean, the lies should have some reality in it. I mean, you have to be absolutely mad and psychotic and schizophrenic to tell these kind of absurd lie on the public media.
yeah. But
Shaji,
then,
take the comments from the other gentleman who is with you. Otherwise, he'll think that I'm talking.
Okay.
all right,
Awad
sounds good.
Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Shaji,
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome, कितना
Mashallah, Wanji, Shaji ke haal hai, theek ho?
ठीक जी.
No, I'm just to relax. I'm listening to Shah Saab. Obviously, he was very knowledgeable, and you've got Uncle Jamaluddin there as well. So I was just sat back listening. The thing is, the lie is perpetuated by this narrative that they portray, that they've got converts. There's a chap who his name is Abdul Salam Sukiya. He's on Facebook, and he does a stall every now and then, Ahmadiyya books on the street sometimes, in London. In 2016, we asked this chap, that there are 586,000 converts reported at, I don't call it Jalsa, I call it Chanda Festival. ठीक है जी. It's a Chanda festival. It's a festival of Punjabi families coming together, couple from Canada, couple from Germany, come to UK, meet your cousins, try to rishta, chai piyo, langar khao, moja maro. Yeah, this is
Yes.
all it is. Yeah. Now, when we asked Abdul Salam Sukiya that, look, okay, you are persecuted in Pakistan, you're not carried out your tabligh there freely. You have been in England for 40 years nearly, and for 40 years, you are free. You have an audience of 70 million people, potential people that you can convert in this country. Yeah. So you are free to do tabligh. You are even accepted as Muslims by the Christians and the atheists, the non-Muslims here. So this is where you are accepted. You are given a free hand. You have total freedom to carry out your tabligh. So tell us today, from the 586,000 converts in 2016, how many from the UK? And after a lot of backwards and forwards tennis playing, he admitted that there were less than 200 converts from all of Asia, all of Europe, all of North America, all of South America. And that just leaves one continent, Africa. So basically, from the 586,000, if you minus 200, that leaves 585,800 converts from Africa alone. Yes. And 200 from the whole planet, which is a planet, if you take 1 billion from Africa out, it still has 6 billion people at that time, 7 billion people left. Yeah. So the question is, why are normal Western, okay, we'll take the UK because we're in the UK. We take the UK for an example. Why we don't have a leader, you have a Khalifa. You are on the truth, we are on the lie. Yeah, we Muslims, you say we're not truthful, you are the truth, you are real Islam, you are the peaceful guys. Why are people converting to Islam and you're free to carry out tabligh? You've got your posters, you've got all the newspapers who back you, you've got the government who sends people down there, you make speeches, you list. So why aren't you converting? There's 70 million people here. Why haven't you converted 70 people? And
They
we
can.
know
They are
that,
converting.
sorry, we just one thing. We know that between Mirza Tahir and Mirza Masroor has been in the helm now for 20 years, and Mirza Tahir moved here in 1984. So it's been almost 39 years now. In 39 years, have they converted? Has 39 people taken bay'ah at the hands of Tahir and Masroor? And the answer is no.
The Lajna might have got like 20.
Yeah. So
No, they have some conversion.
yeah,
Sorry, they have some conversion. You
yeah,
know why? Because I tell you why. They are girls and they are boys.
yes,
When they make a girlfriend, a boyfriend, then
yes,
they ask them, I know many, and they ask them to convert to become a Qadiani, then I will be a marry you. I met last week, not 2 weeks ago, is a white guy, and he told me that he has a Qadiani girlfriend. I said,
yes,
what are you talking about? I say, really? Girlfriend? He say, yeah.
yeah,
I say, I tell you one thing, son. Are you going to become a Qadiani? He said, never. Never, never. I won't come back. So they are using their own children. And I tell you, our Holy Spirit will told me about something, which is if they try to do with him, and offering him a girl, then you imagine what's going on. If their Khalifa is offering their own children to Muslim, to this guy, our Holy Spirit one, then you can understand what's going on.
Uncle,
So
uncle,
this is the way they are going to.
yeah,
They
uncle. The
have
other
that
day,
because I have experience.
the other day, uncle, uncle, the other day, Bashir will know there was an Indonesian guy who Mirza Masroor was questioning, and he said to him, "Oh, you look like you've been MD all your life. How long have you been MD, and why did you become MD?" And he said, "Well, I was to appease my girlfriend's family." Or when he heard that, usko dub ke marna chahiye tha.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Therefore,
yeah,
you're the Khalifa. This is your flock. The guy is saying to appease my girlfriend's family. So one of
yeah.
your followers is his girlfriend, who he takes out to wine and dine every night, and to marry her, he has become MD. His girlfriend. Dekho. In
I
this,
want that. Actually, this is a trap.
yeah,
This is a
Sharm
trap.
Hayai. Yeah, Sharm Hayai.
No, no, this is one trap. I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
Because what they have to have a child. When they have a child,
yeah,
then the guy is trapped.
yeah,
The
yeah,
man is trapped because he has to pay the family thing and all. They apply all the rules what they have in this country.
there we go.
And they are bloody trapped. They can't do much about it, and they're
Yeah.
stuck. I know many people. They are stuck. Yeah, some people have divorce. But they lost
Okay,
all of everything. Yeah,
Uncle, let me tell you something. In the town that I live in near Cambridge, yeah, in Cambridgeshire, we've started seeing about 20 Pakistani families. Or पहले वो छुप छुप के रहते थे तो अभी they're open a little bit now, yeah. And
yeah,
the amazing thing is that where they do their Jummah ibadat is the Pakistani center, yeah. It's our center. So yeah, Pakistan ko, they lie against Pakistan. They're always talking about against Pakistan, and then they hire the Pakistani center to do their Jummah. Yeah. So now they rent this hall from the council for Fridays, and all you see there is about 10 to 15 men and about 4 or 5 women who go there, and they are all Pakistanis. They're all on visas. We've only started seeing these people in the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, yeah, because
yeah.
my community has been in this town since 1950, in the 50s, mid 50s. Yeah,
Oh.
so we've been here. We've been here. I mean, I've been here 50 years myself, and I'm 50 years old. So I've been here 50 years. So what I'm saying is, we've been here for nearly 60, 70 years now, and these people have only just come about. So we know where they're from. Most of them are from Kotli in Azad Kashmir, and when they've come over here, some have come from Germany, some have come from directly from Pakistan. And I noticed yesterday, because when our masjid is obviously full, we use the car park in the center. I park my car in the center, and I normally see them going in, sneaking in, yeah, like this. So yesterday there was nobody there, and then I realized they've all gone to the Jalsa in London. They've had to go. They have to go. They got no choice.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
for the
To
visa,
meet their people,
yeah.
meet their relatives.
Yes. So they've all gone on down there. So there's nobody there yesterday. So I noticed that. But there's no outside person. There is nobody. There's only those 10, 12 people and 4 or 5 girls, women. They're taxi drivers. They drive for our people. So yeah, they call maze ki baat. They work for our people. They work for Sunnis. They drive cars for Sunnis. They rent houses from us, and then on top of that, they say that we are bad people. So I stopped the Murabi, because I saw him coming in, and he's got a nice new electric Toyota Prius, you see. So I knew he was the Murabi guy. So I stopped him. I said, Murabi Saab. And he looked back. I said, 1 minute before you go. He said, what's that? I said, I'm very, very interested in Ahmadiyyat. Very interested. But I have a couple of questions I need you to answer. He said, I haven't got time. Maybe we'll see you again. And he ran inside. You know, so you know, these people, they perpetuate lies against the Pakistani community, the Muslim community. They say that we outcast them, but I have proof that I can tell you that not only do we rent these people the houses, they work for us. They rent houses from us. They rent their hall, you know, which is a Pakistani community center. They rent from the council, you know, one day for an hour, and they do that. Why don't they go and rent a church hall? Because when these people, when the Christians find out that these people, who they actually are, they don't want to know them. You know, it's only because of the British government who created these people, who backed these people, that they have ended up here. Otherwise, I don't think, you know, really, to be quite honest with you, you know, judging from, you know, this guy uncle who was in the park last week, you know, a couple of weeks ago, this young lad, Qadiani young lad, I mean, he made a fool of himself, you know. And to be quite honest with you, all these other people, they invite one dignitary, they call him a dignitary, but they're nobodies. When you actually kind of, you know, speak to them, and they say, well, you know, we're invited there, they invite you to hundreds of functions. So it's nothing special. If an MP, local MP comes there, we can invite any local MP to any function. He has to attend. So this big drama that we've got 500 dignitaries. Tell me this, uncle. If I am your son and you don't accept me as your son, and some Hindu guy across the road says, oh no, you are his son, do I need certificate from him, or do I need you to say to me that you are my son?
For me.
Yeah. So, you know, these people, there is, from 56, 58 Muslim countries in the world, there's not a single person who accepts your ideology or even accepts you. And there is not a single Muslim that you invite to your jalsas or who would attend. So the people there that you are getting certification and pats on the back from, they're mostly all Christians or atheists or Buddhists or people like this.
Yeah. Christianity.
Not a single Muslim. Sorry, I've gone on a little bit. I'll let you speak, uncle.
No, I was talking to those Christian, you know. I told them what he think, the Mirza Qadiani think about your Jesus. He was a drunkard man. He was an adulterer. He was a thief. He was all the bad name. He himself was, Mirza Qadiani was. He said that Jesus was that person. So I said, and you accept him as a Muslim. Huh?
Yeah.
They say, what? I said, well, from now on, I'm going to go to the Christian and tell them what they think about Jesus. Nowadays, actually, the Christians say, we don't believe that Isa was a Jesus, you know. And this thing, actually, you know, now things are getting a little bit clear, which I try to do myself. That's why I'm going there. My reason to go there to expose the Qadianiyat as much I can. But I am very surprised to know even the youngsters know about them, you know, because I like to warn the youngster, because, you know, they trap the youngsters when they're 18, 19 and 20. But I met 2-3 boys who was a youngster and they left Qadianiyat and they are now Muslim and they are in 20s. They are in their 20s. This is what I really like about it.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you, Uncle, but I have a few questions. Dr. Sayyid, the Holy Spirit, you said, I thought the Khalifa, he announces conversions on Sunday. Did he already announce it at 217,000?
Yes, 217,000. He did the midday speech. In UK time, that was about 2 or 3 o'clock. And he actually wrote the lies on a piece of paper and read it to the public. And he said 13 times in his speech that we tell everybody that we are the lovers of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we bring the true message. What I want to tell for the benefit of Qadianis, that Mirza is the one who claimed he is the second coming of Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Nauzubillah, nauzubillah,
Nauz billah.
nauzubillah.
Mirza Qadiani Nauz billah said that he is the God. In one of his book, he writes that
Yeah,
I knew I was a God and I ordered that the heavens and earth be created. And I have got these videos, you know, Shaji, and you have done some as well. Mirza
yeah.
is the one who says that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
Sallallahu alaihi.
wasallam did not complete his mission,
Inna
and
lillahi wa
he
astaghfirullah,
he
astaghfirullah,
said
astaghfirullah.
that he has come to complete that mission. In Quran it says, al yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakumul islam ad-deena. Today I have completed your religion, I have completed your deen, I have completed my blessing upon you, and I have chosen Islam for deen, which is a seal on the fact that the completion of Islam took place in the time of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi
Sallallahu
wasallam.
alaihi
Then Allah said to protect that completion,
wasallam.
Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra. I have sent this advice, this zikr. Inna lahu lahafizun. I am the guardian of it. And here comes a loony, schizophrenic Mirza, who is a thief, who is an adulterer, and all those things you can think of. And he says that mission wasn't completed. This is Qadianio. He tell you these things? Come to us. We will show you the proof of that. And after this, somebody who comes and say that they love Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than that, lanatallahi al khasibin. There is
Al-Kazibin,
no one
lanatullah.
worse than those people at all. And one more point I will make. You see, our brother Baz Ahmed, he just told us he left Qadianiyat during last few years. I have been on the social media almost a year, little more than a year. Shaji, you know when I started in Aka Ka Ghulam. It's not a long time. In first month, I was reading the thesis. A family from Australia, 5 members accepted Islam on my hand. And Aka Ka Ghulam showed it and told everybody. Within next month, another family converted to Islam. You look at comments underneath my videos, people, every video has got a message that my whole family has converted, 30 members have converted, 60 members have converted. And we have brought the interviews of several people who left Qadianiyat. On their TV, which is going all over the globe, there has not been any significant number of people who are coming and giving an interview. Oh, my dear, I used to be a Muslim, now I'm a Qadiani. I have become a real Muslim. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Have you ever seen those Qadianis? I mean, I address to Qadianis because I have seen them from so near. I want to ask them, if 217 have converted during last 12 months, you can interview 10 people briefly, 5 minutes each, who will put his hand on the book, on the Holy Quran, or whatever he believes, on Taskara or whatever. He will tell that why did he become Qadiani. The fact of the matter is, today he said, Shaji, listen to this. He said in UK, during last 12 months, 156 people have converted. He has given a number.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That's about 12 a month.
It is an absolute absurd lie.
Yeah.
You see, and those 156, if somebody grab his neck, I want to really see them, will be those people who were born Qadiani and don't come to mosque. They say, oh, once he came to the mosque. None of the Muslim who has got the slightest sense in their head will accept this deception. As a matter of fact, I have writing a paper now with the arguments in English, saying that what Qadiani go and tell round to the parliaments, member of the parliaments, and everybody all around the world, and the Congress people come say, oh, it's a real Islam. I want to show you the summary of what they are about. I want them to see the other side of the picture as well. I think this is a very important thing that all of
Inshallah.
us should write this and email it to the members of the parliament and tell them. And I can assure you, if you email 10 members of the parliament in any country, two or three will definitely read, because it's such a hot topic. So I have already written most of it. I'm just going to give it a couple of readings, and I will send to you, Shaji, as well. And I think that's an effort from my side. I'm not the ultimate, but I have spent lots of time reading the rubbish called the Shaitani Khazain and all those Malfuzat and Oh, Shaji, another good news for you. You can refresh your iman. Mirza, I like the word Chanda festival. Honestly speaking, our brother Baz was spot on. In future, I'll call it Chanda Festival 2023. What he has told us, that all the Rouhani Khazain has been translated and published in English.
Wow, that's interesting, because there were a few books left.
He said 12 volumes were left, and they are published this year, and the 12 were published last year. So they becomes 24. Now, this is the Khalifa of Qadianiyat, who is supposed to have a good hold of, actually, his fake prophet, that drunken adulterer. He doesn't know Rouhani Khazain have got only 23 volumes.
He never read it. He never read it.
No, that's the problem.
No, never read it.
Don't read. I was laughing. Honestly, I've recorded it. I'm going to play it, because he said 12 were translated before, 12 are translated now. This is 24. And actually, they are 23 in number. There are 84 books, and some of them, like Risala al-Wasiyat, is just 20 page or 18 page. It used to be 12 page. They added few things more on the name of Mirza Qadi. The worst thing about Qadiani Jamal Sahab is this. You will know that they have added things after Mirza Qadiani, which amounts more than 50%. If Mirza Qadiani come back, he was such a loony. Honestly, I want to say a very strong word about him, but I control myself. Even that crazy guy comes back and sit with, he's his Nana, Masroor's Nana, his grandfather. No, he's the father of his grandfather. His Nana is Mirza Mahmud, and Mirza Mahmud is father is Mirza. If he come and sit among these guys, honestly, he will kick them on their face. What they have done to his understanding, honestly speaking. So I leave it to you, Shaji. I'll listen to you.
And one last thing, and then we'll end it, because we're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes. What do you know about Hassan Odeh, his book, and Kabir? Because all that happened in the late 80s. He famously left Ahmadiyyat, and we're trying to get a hold of him. What do you know?
He was a Murabbi. Are you talking about same Odeh who was a Murabbi?
Yeah.
From Kabir.
Who was grandfathered in. He didn't go to Jamia. He didn't attend Jamia and graduate. But yeah, he was a Murabbi.
I knew him. Actually, he was there. He was Qadiani in the beginning of up to, I think, 1999.
1989.
He left in 89?
Yeah.
No, Shaji, it's much.
It's in his book.
Oh, he left in 89.
Yeah, he didn't write his book until he didn't publish his book until 2000.
Yeah, maybe I remember him from his book or something like that.
Yeah, his book was published in 2000. Yeah.
One day, somebody told me a story about this guy, and he was one of the bodyguard of Khalifa. He said, this man Odeh from Kabir went to the Khalifa and he asked him a question. Tell me about Muhammadi Begum. And he said, as a result, Hazur has thrown him out of the Jamaat. I mean, that was told to me by a very reliable source. That was years after he left this thing, but he was around for quite a few years, because I remember seeing him and telling people when he lost the Mubala, Mirza Tahir, and he was showing people the Hakikatul Wahi, page number 515. He said he has lost the Mubala. You don't need to ask anybody. His grandfather has written, anyone who does a Mubala and get a stroke, he is the loser. He said, look, his grandfather has written about him, because grandfather Mirza Liar Qadiani drew a cartoon of Dr. Davi. He challenged him for Mubala. Davi never accepted it, and he had a stroke many years after that. And Mirza went around, oh, I won, I won, I won, and he has got a stroke. He said, okay, if you think that Mirza was right, then he had a stroke, his grandson, isn't it, Mirza Tahir? So I haven't read his book, Shaji. Have you? If you have read his book, tell me what's in it. Just a brief thing.
Yeah, hold on, and I'm trying to pull it up, but yeah, you nailed it. But he also talked about the women of Kababir and how they've all went astray. The Adiani women, morally, they all have boyfriends, they all have girlfriends. Kababir is out of control. He was the shining star of Kababir, and yeah, he said he noticed that Mirza Tahir Ahmed didn't know any Arabic. um, and yeah, he was convinced though. He married a Punjabi woman from Qadian, so he went to Qadian. In his book, he's got photos from Minaratul Masih. He took a photo from the top of Minaratul Masih looking down. Um, he married a woman from Qadian, and then he saw the conversion fraud and the Mubaila with Zia, and he said, "Nah, these guys are fooling around. This isn't true." Um, so yeah, I was just recently rereading his book again. I had read it before, but maybe I forgot like the details. But yeah, and I'm about to I'm about to show you guys here in just a sec. Here,
Shaji, could you send me the PDF of that book? Because that will be very interesting. This man was very famous in 90s in this Jamaat that he has left, and he was a Murabbi.
yep. Well, you can see it on the screen now, and I just got to get a photo of his picture itself. He put his own picture in in the back of the book, but he says that his great grandfather on both sides of his family were the first two people who converted to Ahmadiyyat in Kababir. That's his claim, and it's in the book, and I'm quite sure it's true. But and here's his photo.
Oh,
Yep,
that's the guy.
yep. And I posted the link. Um, but yeah, it was the Mobila with Zia and all the lies Mirza Tahir Ahmed told. And I got some more work coming out on Kababir and the Odeh family. But sometimes it takes people have to see the Mirza family lying for them to believe it. I always knew something was wrong. I always knew something was up. In this whole thing. So
No, they are complete liar, honestly speaking. I mean, the Oda was around much after 89 as well. I think he used to live in London, and he used to come and tell people, look, they are liars, and they have done this and they have done that. I don't, where does he live now? Not in Kababir. I don't think he's in England, isn't he?
yeah, brother Jamaluddin is going to help us get a hold of him. Isn't
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
true?
I tried to. I met him actually. I met him. Ajmi are there are three people who used to work in MTA, and they come to see me. क्या है जी? इक्रमा अजमी, इक्रमा नजमी एंड दूसरे और
Ani Tahir, maybe.
ताहिर हानी और यह ओदा.
Yep. So we're tracking it, Uncle.
I
We're
try, I try.
but yeah,
I try.
last thing, Uncle, we have a new guy here, Jason. I think he's from Twitter. Let's see if he wants to say something. If not, we'll end the stream. So, brother Jason, are you
Okay,
there?
okay.
Okay. So okay, maybe he's not talking. Let me show some photos. They posted this on Twitter. Qadiani's being forced to watch uh, MTA, right? Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then here,
Poor, poor
let
people.
me show no- and then, brother,
Yeah.
the BBC. So the white guy in the middle is from the BBC. So they are going out of their way to to schmooze people. But hey, one last thing, I almost forgot. Dr. Iftikhar Ayaz. And I wanted to comment on this. Where did you go? Right here. Doctor says, Holy Spirit. Do you know who this guy is?
No, he's not Iftikhar Ayaz. You see, make it bigger.
I don't know how to make it bigger, but it's definitely
Now,
him.
you see, I was talking to Jamal Saab about Mr. Ayaz. He was once an Amir. What do you want to know about him?
Well, from what I've read, his father was in 1937 used Tariq Jadid money, and the Jamaat sent him to Tanzania. So he grew up in Tanzania. He did not in 1961. Tanzania got its freedom, not freedom. They're still in the Commonwealth. It's just a different word from colonization. But he became a Tanzanian citizen. Average student, nothing special. He gets a job with the government because he's a Qadiani. In fact, he worked for the Commonwealth if in Tuvalu, if you heard of Tuvalu,
No, I have.
and he worked as special consul to help the Tuvaluan people. But how could he help those people? Those people don't need education. There's no jobs on those
No.
islands.
I'll tell you the story of this very briefly. I'll tell you. I think Jamal Saab is a relative of him.
Yeah,
Aren't you?
yeah. Yeah. I am.
He's
He's
a relative.
Ataul Majib. He's Ataul Majib, brother-in-law. And when he married, I was there in Pakistan. When he married to my cousin. Actually, because my cousin's mother is different than my real cousin. Because Ataul Abu Lata Jalandhari, he was a cousin of my father. So, and also a brother-in-law of my father too. So that's my relationship with them. Yeah, I met him and I have spoken to him 2 3 years ago. He's over 90, 93, 94. Nowadays. And I want to see him, but he refused to say, no, I don't want to see you because you left the Jamaat, so I don't want to see you. This is what they always do. Atal Majib also said, no, I don't want to see you. There's other people, they say they want to see you. I want to see them, anyway, but they didn't. But I become a Muslim. It's all credit go to Ataul Majib, when he said this Khalifa is the Khalifa of Khalifa de Rashida. From there, this was the point. Then I start digging out, what's the truth about it. Then I found out, and after a year, I was a Muslim, mashallah. Allah showed me the right path. And after that, I study and many, many books, and I know what Islam is now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
I'll tell
explain
you
a
very
little bit
briefly
here and there.
about Iftikhar Ayaz.
Yeah,
His family after, yeah, that's him.
yeah,
That's a knighthood medal. You see on he is Sir, like Sir Zafrullah Khan. He is
yeah,
Sir Iftikhar Ayaz because of being the consulate of Tuvalu or whatever small. It's a very, very tiny country. It's on few square mile. It's not a huge area. Mirza Tahir, the story goes, Mirza Tahir told him that become a consulate of them. Before that, he was in Australia, and at that time, he was working for the Commonwealth. When he came back from Australia, he was appointed the Amir Jamaat UK. During his tenure, I've heard this story. I'm not a witness to it, but the £6 million from the modern mosque were uh, stolen by architect and this gentleman called Iftikhar Ayaz. And he took away millions of pounds, and it's said that he scoundreled around £2 million or something around that, and £4 million were taken by the architect and his cronies. So Mirza Tahir was very upset about him.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
how this story goes. And he came round on the Friday sermon. That was the sermon I heard. That's how I knew the story was true. He said in the sermon, this Iftikhar Ayaz, I appointed him the Amir Jamaat, but the people have eaten up the money and he was in knowledge. Therefore, on that grounds, I'm going to fire him and he will not be Amir anymore. What he did was he created a kind of a coup against him. Yeah, Iftikhar Ayaz created a coup against Mirza Tahir.
Wow.
And you remember the Mirza Tahir after that came on one of the Friday, Jamal Sahib would know. I heard that khutbah. He said, you are disobeying me, the people, secretaries and Nazran. And he said to Jamaat, I am asking you to come forward and I will replace each one of them. He is a person. I mean, I have read in newspaper Mirza Tahir was poisoned in the last days. He didn't die of natural death. And Iftikhar Ayaz and this guy who is the Amir now and other guys who were around, they were involved in this thing, right? And I read, it's on my one of my video, I have put the paper of the newspaper which says that it has been reported to authorities that his body should be removed and tested forensically, that how he was poisoned. So this man had one son and few daughters. I don't know, 2 or 3. How many, Jamal Sahab, how many daughters this man has?
I think 3 daughter. Well, I'm not sure, 3 or 2, but one son who has been passed away, who's died in America.
Yeah. He went to America and tragically he passed away. I don't want to go because he's no more into this world. And he was another reason that the people knew about him. So the man, basically all these medal and things, he was first given OBE, Order of the British Empire. And then they, Jamaat Qadiania, you recommend for knighthood. They were recommended and they have got some kind of link because they had one of their most loony guy appointed as a lord as well, that short, fat guy who kind of used to come on the MTA as well. So out of their links, and being that he has been the consulate and this and that, I don't know the inside story, but he was given the knighthood many years ago. I think it's more than 10, 15 years ago. And the Qadiania Jamaat is such a big liar. They write the Professor Abdul Salam, Sir Abdul Salam, I'll tell you, he was never given knighthood. What happened was he was married to English woman who was the professor of physics as well, not of theoretical physics. She, because of her work, was given.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I thought she was like a molecular biologist or something.
Yeah. No, molecular physicist, Shadi.
Okay.
Molecular physicist. And she was the student and the fellow of Dr. Abdul Salam. That's how he came across her. While she was doing fellowship or something with the Professor Abdul Salam, he got involved in as a girlfriend-boyfriend thing happened, right?
Right.
And then later on, unofficially, he married her. That's what they say, that one of the Qadiani Jalsas, Rahib, the priest came called Murabbi and read a niqab, but there is no proof of it. There is no paper about it. So she was given knighthood. She was called Dame in 2000 or around about this time, 2002 or 3. Now, if you ask Qadiani, that Professor Abdul Salam got MBE, which is the lowest of the honor in UK. It is called Member of British Empire. And how come he has got the knighthood? They say, oh, because his wife, who doesn't even like to talk to Qadianis, became Dame, so he automatically become Sir, This is a
Never heard of that.
Huh?
Never heard of that card story.
No, that's true story.
Yeah, it is. But you are saying it isn't. We didn't know that. Yeah.
One of the Qadiani called me this week. He said, I have converted to Islam during last few years. And I came across him on Twitter. He said to me, "Oh, the Professor Islam was poisoned as well." I said, "I don't know. I have never heard of it. That was very first time I heard." But the Qadianis, I mean, honestly speaking, if you, I ask Qadiani to stand outside this cult at least for some time and see them what they are about, they have got nothing to do with the Islam in any sense of this word. Actually, whenever they talk, they disgrace Islam. May God show
Yeah,
them the right path.
that's
Thank you,
right.
Shaji.
That's right.
Yep, and with that, brothers and sisters, that's the end of our stream. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Uncle Jamal. If he
Assalamu
has
alaikum
time,
warahmatullah.
if he has time in the future, we will bring him back as more things happen. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, assalamu alaikum and peace out.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah.